Welcome, dear listeners, to our first exciting episode of Hikayat podcasts. I'm your host, Amira Mshishan.
And Mu'taz.
And today we embark on a journey through the important years of higher education. Our guests are here to unravel the tales of their formative years at the university, sharing valuable stories and experiences that shaped who they are today. Universities are not just institutions of learning, they are melting pots of diverse perspectives, life-changing moments, and invaluable life lessons. Whether you are a current student in navigating the complexities of academia or an alumni reminiscing about the good old days, this episode is bound to resonate with you. Get ready to be inspired, amused, and perhaps even surprised as our guests open up about the challenges they faced, the friendship they forged, and the lessons they left and the lessons that left an indelible mark on their lives. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's dive deep into the unique tapestry of university life.
Thank you, Amira. That's very beautiful. For today, we have 4 guests, and let's have everybody introduce themselves, their name, their major, and which year they're on. Let's go from my right to my left.
Okay, so my name is Wissal Herbil. I'm a freshman majoring in international studies.
Hello, my name is Aya Raji and I am sophomore majoring in business administration.
Hello, I am Ibtihal bin Said. I am a junior and majoring in business administration.
Hello, I'm Ala Jalal and I'm a senior majoring in international studies.
Good to meet you guys.
Thank you.
You all sound very interesting, but let's get to know you better. In the same order, preferably. Tell me, reflecting on your first day at university, what were your initial thoughts and emotions? How did you navigate that significant transition from high school to university life? What was it like?
So my first day was only a few months ago, so it's still very new. I remember, first of all, spending hours in the registration office, and that was maybe not the best first impression.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, maybe this isn't the greatest thing. But once I was settled in my room, met my roommates, and then I went out with my parents to the city. And then like at night we came back, and it was like the goodbye. It's like, bye. So
Did you cry?
I didn't actually.
I didn't cry as well.
Because I live just in Knes, so I know that I will like see them.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but I also live in Meknes and I spent 1 week crying. 1 week crying.
It was just like a moment of like, okay, this is real now. Like I'm alone and I have to fetch for myself. And yeah, I remember I was so exhausted, so I just slept. And yeah, that was like my first day.
Okay.
So for me, my first day was a little bit stressful since I have came from Casablanca and I should say goodbye to my parents. Honestly, I was not very like I will miss them or something like this, but I have to act that I will miss them. So they won't feel that I will be like happy that I will leave home. And sorry to mention this, but I should say that I left home at 17 and I was very like proud of myself. So that's it. I still remember when I met my roommates. Actually, she was a girl that I knew from my high school, so it was good. We had a studio in building 39. It was a little bit far away from academic area, so I had to deal with this, etc. And also, I was very happy to have a new room, a new beginning. So it was a little bit like. I was very like excited, and it was a source of motivation for me to start a new life, new beginning, a new chapter in my life. So that's it.
What about you, Tihal?
For me, actually, I think it's not only the transition from high school to university, as they mentioned, but it's more like transition from being with your parents, being dependent on them, and many other things like that. and going through like being fully independent and having to manage a couple of things by yourself, like doing everything by yourself. But I think that's the beauty of it. Like this is the best part of it actually. I still remember before coming here to Ifran, I'm from Agadir, so I don't usually get the chance to go between like in the middle of the semester.
It's
so
quite the distance. Do you fly by plane?
I mean, I feel like twice or something. I
Okay.
usually go by train, yeah, until Marrakesh, and then I take the
Whoa.
bus from Marrakesh to Agadir. So it's a very complicated process, and it's a very, I mean, but it's worth it. I think that it's worth it. Like I don't regret it, like 1%.
Did you cry?
No, I didn't
Okay.
actually, because it was my decision to come here, so I wanted to show that I am responsible for everything, and I can do it, and you don't have to worry about me. And even though like it might sound like I was unemotional or I didn't care or anything like that, but I was excited for the journey. I was excited for what's next, so I didn't mind at all. But before coming, when I was home, I felt some aches in my stomach. I'm like, oh my god, I have something's wrong. And then my dad is like, that's responsibility. You're just feeling it. I'm like, oh my god. But like, I think that's the best of it. I never regret the fact that I took the decision. So I think when I came here, I tried. There was like the first week, like the orientation week. Tried to make friends, and that's the only week at AUI where you don't get to do anything. Like after that week, every time there's something to do. So I mean, people have to enjoy it the most. So I did, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
So that's
What about you, Ella? Correct me if I'm wrong. You joined AUI during peak COVID.
Yes, it was back in 2020, and it was pretty smooth, actually. I did not expect it to be smooth-ish. The pre-registration process was pretty easy. The university was not as crowded as it is actually, and we were very few students on campus, mainly us newcomers and graduating seniors and a few mentors and tutors. And I remember that day being pretty stressful because I was waiting for my PCR test and I did not get it by email, and I kept calling the laboratory to get me my test, and it did not answer, and I would not be granted access to the university if I did not get my PCR test. So it was very stressful, and I remember my dad making phone calls here and there and asking his friend to pick it up, and thank God it was picked up and I was granted access to the university. And well, the process was pretty smooth. I got my cash wallet, I got my keys, and then my parents helped me pack in my room, and then I remember they helped me out with a few things, and then the goodbye came. Before saying goodbye, I was very happy and very excited to start my new journey in AUI, and I was happy to leave home. I am the youngest child, and both my sisters don't live in Morocco, so I was happy to actually live that and just leave home. And actually, once I said goodbye to my parents, I did not expect to feel sad, and I actually shed a few tears, but it was fine.
You cried.
Yeah. And that was it. I remember it being a pretty happy, stressful period. But I'm overall satisfied.
Okay. What about you, Amira? Let's have you tell us.
I guess I'm the only one who spent 1 week crying. But
I mean, you live in McNass. It's really like a
but
taxi.
let me tell you
You have your
something.
mom's food and everything. You can get everything.
Let me tell you something. So I spent my last year at high school, I spent it very depressed. And during my last year at high school, I was very happy to actually come to AUI. But once I realized that, yes, I'm actually going to AUI. And it's no longer, yes, it's no longer just a dream. It's a reality. I had 24 hours before coming to AUI, and it was maybe the 4th of September. And I realized that, yes, I'm going to AUI now. It's not a joke. So I spent it crying. And if you ask why I'm crying, because maybe I was getting separated from my mom. Actually, I have like a very strong friendship with her. We're not just mom and daughter, so...
You live 1 hour. I'm sorry. You can get a taxi at the end of the day, go and come back.
That's what I'm actually doing every
You can
time.
go get her food, have her food for all.
By the way, guys, fun fact. This is Amira's first weekend in AUI.
Yes.
Not
So
In
please...
Israel.
yes.
every weekend.
I never-
she
You
goes
go,
back to
oh my
Yes,
God.
Yes.
I have
Wow.
a friend just like you should meet him.
Yeah, for 3. This is my third. This
It's
is my
tiring.
fifth. My fifth semester, and I've never spent one weekend. One whole weekend. I tell you why. Believe me, no one weekend.
But like, how
this
did
is the first one, and probably not. Probably I will change my mind.
I mean, but like, that's very tiring first. And the second thing, I think that the purpose of AUI is not achieved at a certain point, you know? Like the purpose of being independent is not achieved at all because you go back you go back every week, so you don't get actually to feel that independence. That's life. I
but-
mean, I'm gonna be harsh, but that's life.
But-
Like, what if she dies? What if something happens?
Oh my God, life God forbid.
I mean, may Allah protect all our mothers, but that's the truth. You have to live with it.
Maybe
Oh my
because
God.
I live there. Maybe because I live very near. That's why I go every weekend. But
Oh my God.
I'm just
I was
so
harsh,
used
I'm
to
sorry.
it. No, it's okay. I'm just so used to it. And that's why.
No.
But the first week I spent it crying. And then I remember the first weekend. It was still this COVID things, and you have to, if you spend the night outside, you have to bring
PCR.
a PCR. So I called my mentor and I told her this, and I want to go back home. What should I do? And I had to go. I had to talk to Mr. Adil Kaman, if you know him.
Mhm.
And he told me I can go spend the weekend at home, but I have to bring a PCR, and that's what I did. I spent 600 dirhams for the PCR, and I regret it. Yes, but I think after that, I realized that I don't have a choice. I will spend the whole week, most of the week, at AUI. I started making friendships. It was not good at first. Mainly
I'm
toxic
sorry.
friendships.
I'm sorry.
And alhamdulillah, we surpassed everything, and here we are today. But I still go back home every weekend.
Inshallah, I wish you the best of luck in the 2 upcoming years.
Mu'taz, your turn.
Yeah, well, it was very strange coming
You
to
spent
AUI.
1 month absent.
Yes.
COVID.
Yes.
You got COVID.
No, I didn't get COVID. Here's the thing. The transition that wasn't hard at all because I was living alone ever since high school. My family lived in Barshid and I lived in Rabat alone for
You're
high school.
from Burshid.
My family, no, it's a long story where I'm from, but we'll
Yeah. There's just a stereotype that came to my mind. That's all.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. The stereotypes are real, by the way.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, when AUI was approaching, I started packing everything, and I was ready to.
God knows how packing is hard.
Yeah,
How hard
I was
packing.
packing. I was ready to hit the road and come to Ifran, but I got I got a phone call. Bad news. My father got a stroke in Bangladesh, so I had to take a flight. The very bags I packed for Ifran, I took them to Bangladesh. I went to Bangladesh and I got my father back to Morocco, and I was a month late. So I didn't go through orientation. I didn't go through mentorship. I never saw my mentor. I saw my mentor maybe once when I came. And yeah, I already had friends in AUI before I came to AUI, which was nice, honestly. But on a second thought, it was unfortunate in a way because when I came, my friends were juniors and seniors. So by my second year, I felt very alone.
Oh yeah, because they
Exactly.
graduated.
Everyone graduated.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, living lifestyle wise, it wasn't hard. I was already living alone. I was already taking care of myself. I didn't really cry. I didn't cry.
Huh? You didn't?
I cried for different reasons. Not because I left my family back home or anything. It was a very hard time in my life. And I will never forget the security's face when I came to AUI a month late. He couldn't recognize me. He said, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" I said, "Oh, I'm a first year student." Because my cash, I didn't have a cash wallet or anything.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it was funny. And yeah, alhamdulillah, I'm doing good. I'm doing all right.
And how did you do for the attendance issues?
It was all excused.
Yeah.
It was all excused. But still, I missed a lot of classes. I was thinking about minoring in CS. By the time I came, for everyone who was majoring in CS, they would understand this. They were already in functions
Oh yeah.
in the program C. I didn't even have the basics, which was complicated. But I caught up. I didn't do well in my grades for my first semester, but I caught up. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Universities are often a hub of diverse perspectives and experiences. Can you share a moment when you encountered a viewpoint or a culture different from your own and how it influenced your outlook on life?
Now thinking about it, there isn't something very specific on my mind, but something. It's very like slight, but I met a girl. She was from southern Morocco, and we started talking, and I couldn't understand her dialects, and I felt very ashamed. And she switched to English, and I was like, I'm sorry. And that was actually my first encounter with somebody from the very south, and it was really cool, you know, to see people here from everywhere. And during orientation week, especially, you know, you play all these games with different people, and then you start asking around, or where you're from, where you major in at, and like it's like literally every single city in Morocco, someone is here. It was also with international students. I remember we had the Shabi night, and we were all there, and I remember it was a guy I played with during the orientation week. He was from China, and he loved the music. He was vibing with it so much more than we were. And it was great. So like all of these very few experiences, fortunately all of them were very positive. So far, actually, it's something I really appreciate about IUI is it fosters diversity, especially for example in debates clubs or philosophy clubs. You get to see that difference in mentalities and perspectives about different things. And it's cool that there's this respect, mutual respect that everyone has for each other. I appreciate that.
Okay. Well, okay. You're from Meknes, right?
Yes.
Would you say the culture in Meknes,
Mm-hmm.
like the common culture in Meknes, is different from the one in Ifren?
At AUI, precise.
At AUI,
Yeah,
to be more precise. Yes.
yes, for sure. For example, there are stuff that I wouldn't say are acceptable. You'd be looked at a different way if you did in Meknes than if you did them here in AUI. Also, how much you can actually voice your opinions.
Exactly.
It's very interesting. Actually, sometimes when I spend so much time here and then I leave,
You feel
I'm like,
different.
what is
Very hard. Yeah.
Yeah, I go back and then I'm taking taxis and I go back home and it's like, okay, like there's actually
That's
life
weird in
outside.
Morocco. I mean,
I have to change my personality
Yeah,
again.
But I how can I say this? I noticed actually a really big change in myself and how I kind of how can I say it?
You express your
yeah,
opinion?
express my opinions and stuff. I felt like I got way better at it just from these few months, and I really appreciate that.
Okay, that's very nice. It's very interesting. What about you, Aya?
So, if you ask me, would you like to? Should I start from the dark side or the light side?
Let's have dessert first.
Sorry?
Let's have dessert first. The good stuff.
Okay, the good stuff here is that as we shall say the international students, you meet them. I still remember during my second semester, spring, I had a Japanese friend and we had some nights together. I always shared with her our food because I'm good in cooking, and she really liked it.
What did you make for her?
I made for her tagines,
Nice.
And
Nice.
my mom sent to me some how can I cook rfisa?
Okay.
nice.
Nafisa.
Some semen and
Can you cook it for us?
okay.
Oh my god, please. I'm from Agadir, so I don't get the chance to.
Same. So I already introduced to her our culture, specifically in food,
Mhm.
and also still remember we did some shabby's night between us girlies night,
Nice.
and so it was beautiful days with her. and she invites me to Japan, but I couldn't go. I really wished. So, but the dark side here is how people normalize things, and I really was I was very shocked my first week. I still remember, I didn't get out from my room like for weeks, and I hadn't the chance to meet some new friends or do some friendships, and I was really struggling with the thing that I am alone. And during my high school years I was very sociable, so it was a very huge difference from my personality during high school and university. I started joining some clubs such as theater club. I'm a good actress, by the way.
Nice.
And
I can tell.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I started marrying new people and stuff. But back to how people normalize things such as smoking, vaping, and stuff. I was not raised in an environment where smoking was okay. So when I saw people like taking a cigarettes or something like this, I was very shocked. Like specifically girls. Like we gonna debate in a subject such as gender and stuff. So also drinking alcohol and stuff was not okay for me, and I was very shocked. So I should deal with the fact that people here are normalizing things, and our generation is very, very different from like previous one. I should start having that cool mental
Open.
cool, yes,
mentality.
exactly, and that's it. So that's my experience here.
Okay.
Tia.
Yeah, I mean, from my side, I think UI perfectly represents like a place where everyone is accepted and you can do whatever you want as long as you don't actually hurt somebody, and which is kind of a perfect projection of what we would like Morocco to be. I mean, they mentioned different points that I would definitely maybe relate to. For example, but maybe the thing that I learned the most is normalizing something or just accepting it does not necessarily mean that you will do it. For example, if it's fine for people to smoke, I don't care as long as they hurt themselves. I just don't want to be exposed to secondhand smoking, and you don't do that next to me, I don't care. But that does not mean that I'm probably going to smoke. Being able to actually differentiate between the two things helps you go through many other things here, and it's for me it's more like being exposed to that and being exposed to different people actually thinking in different ways. Because as she mentioned, like she met a person from the south, from the very south, and everything. For me, it's maybe the opposite. If I meet someone from I got the chance to meet people from the north, it usually gets different and everything, because the environment we grew up in are different, but at the same time you take that into consideration when you talk. Like, it's respecting each other, wherever it happens, whatever you discuss, you have respect. You don't actually get the chance to judge someone because you're not in that position. You're not in the position to judge anyone here. So I feel like a UI is a very safe space, and I hope it stays so for a very long time. I mean, I just wanted to stay as a safe space for people who want to be themselves as they are.
What about you, Ella? What do you think?
Well, I think that AUI is the perfect environment where many cultures mix together and where everyone accepts everyone. And so it started my first semester. It started when I met people from many different cities. I mean, I met some people from different places in Morocco previously, but I never did it on a regular basis. And it really teaches you how different people are and how accepting you should be towards these people. It started with the people from different cities, and then from different countries, and then even faculties. And I learned so many things during my AUI journey, and I keep learning every day. So whether it is related to the language and language barriers, even in Morocco, you don't even understand someone from a different region, and you just try your best. And I really feel like it teaches you how to be understanding towards the others. And especially, like, there's this one thing that I remember. when during my first year and in my first IS class, it was comparative political systems. And I had a professor, should I mention the name? No need to mention the name.
She left the UI or she's still here?
They,
Oh my
they
god, I
were-
assumed the gender, I'm sorry.
they were very amazing. That professor was amazing. I loved the class, and that professor taught me gender neutrality.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I mean,
And
No names, no names.
yes,
Let's keep it
yes.
going.
I took
so basically, I never really thought of gender neutrality before as an issue. And when I took that specific class with that one specific professor, it made me think, oh yes, this person is right. I should not assume one's gender. It's either a he or a she or a they. And it was something that I never really learned before. And I feel like in AUI, AUI is really the perfect environment to be really open and to, because in AUI we don't only learn, we also unlearn things. And it's really important to unlearn in your life. We all give importance to learning, but how about unlearning? How about detaching ourselves from societal beliefs and archaic thoughts, if I may say. So I'm really grateful for my AUI journey, even with all the hardships that I went through, due to all the things I learned and unlearned.
Interesting. The whole perspective and narrative of unlearning things,
Yeah,
that's very impressive, Ella. Thank you very much.
of course.
So, so far, throughout your university's journey, all of you, what would you say is the biggest challenge you faced, biggest problem you faced, and how did you overcome it? Let's start with you, Wisam.
The biggest challenge I faced, basically, at the beginning I had a lot of doubts about, for example, what is the major I chose? Is it the right major? I was in high school. I did math, math. So I was like, even if I didn't like it, should I just keep it switch to SSE or something? But my high school years weren't the best, so I was like, but I don't want to feel the way I felt in high school. But then, is it worth it to throw myself at something that is uncertain? So I was like, I'm just gonna stick and see where this goes. And so far, I'm not regretting my decision at all. And this is something I actually like about AUI, is the chance to. It gives you the chance to kind of explore and then kind of come to a decision. So I like knowing that I have the opportunity to change my mind and without many consequences. It's very reassuring. And another challenge was maybe the fact that I know that me being here is a privilege in a way. And I know, for example, how much my parents or what my parents did for me to be here. So it's like kind of sense of responsibility that I have to be the best at everything I do. But I feel like all of these have been pretty. Like they have helped me kind of to how can I say this? They have helped me in setting my priorities right and kind of know, okay, this is what I'm here to do, and here's what I'm gonna do to achieve that. And then so far, I've been very focused on my studies, but I also have been very involved in extracurriculars, which I have never had the opportunity to do in high school, especially because in my baccalaureate year, especially the last year, it was really bad because I was at school the entire day, and then I had extra hours for 7 to 9, then I get home at 10 p.m. and then I have to do more work. It was not good. So once I was here and the workload was less, and I felt like I was actually living and meeting people and doing stuff.
Just wait for it
But
to
let me
be
tell
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
it will not. It
Okay,
will
I'm
not
enjoying
be
it
less.
while the class.
Just
No,
enjoy your
it will not.
first year.
But I don't think you will regret IS. I don't think so.
Yeah,
You were mathematical student.
Yes.
Moroccan baccalaureate.
Yes.
A or B.
A.
And I was B.
Okay.
And the transition, it feels so different
Yes.
to go from, especially people ask you, why did you choose mathematics? If you're going to do international studies, then choose economics or literature at least. But no, you will not. I don't think you will regret it, because as a field of study, it's you learn a lot, but then at the same time you feel that you learn nothing. So it's a good experience. It's like I don't know how to say it. It's like a long journey. Very different from, because mathematics, you have rules, you have laws, and yes, and you have to apply them, and you're very stressed. But for IS, you learn new things. You feel like you learn new things. That's exactly what happened to me at my last year in high school. Why I was depressed, because I felt like mathematics and physics, it's the same thing. You're just like a robot. But here, especially with international studies, you don't feel that. So I don't think you would regret your choice.
Yeah, especially because back then I felt like I had good grades, so I was like, it was the natural thing to do. And then I never felt like I was making decisions for myself, so I was like, okay, this stops here. It has to stop somewhere. So when I told my parents, like, okay, I applied, and then they were like, okay, what did you apply for? I'm like, IS, and they were like, how, what? But they're very understanding, which is good. They're just like, okay, so what are you gonna do with that? I'm like, oh, okay, we'll figure it out as it goes.
It's a journey.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
It's a long journey, as I said.
But I have to say, Wasal, from what you've told me, I find it very interesting how it feels like you found quite a good balance between academics and non-academics, which is something a lot of people, most people struggle with on their first semester. I personally struggled with it a lot.
Me too.
Trying to find a good balance between leisure time and academics, that was very hard. What about you, Aya? What was your biggest problem and challenge, and how did you overcome it?
So I want to share two biggest problems and challenge, not one.
No, it's fine.
But one that happens usually, like every semester, is the morning of add and drop.
Yeah.
I struggle a lot with the how can I find some spots and choosing my schedule, choosing my professor, choosing my course. It's a big responsibility, so you should set your degree plan and follow it. If you don't, you can the second challenge that I want to share with you guys today is, during my first semester I had some LC courses, and I still remember it was a reading class where the professor was a new faculty and he doesn't know anything about the Canvas system and stuff, so he put for us 0, 0, 0, 0, and I had a fail grade, and the semester is about to end up in 2 weeks, and I see myself I will fail the class. So the biggest challenge is that I will fail the class and I put all my efforts to not fail it, and he started just putting zeros for us. I don't know why. So I went to his office usually three times a day, just to convince
3 times
him.
a day.
Yes, just to convince him that I'm a good student. I made effort. I have 100% in attendance. Please just give me 10% to not fail the course. And he was very stubborn. I don't know what's wrong with him. Professor, he was a little bit and then I convinced him at the end. I passed the course, and the thing is that I really was very proud of myself. How could I convince him and the half of the class failed? So that's it. I think my opinion, it's every day you have some challenges. It's life. So yes, you should deal with it. You should have a big and good personality to deal with it, and that's what will make you the person when you are graduating. So you will be with a good background, with a good personality, and with good skills. So that's it.
I think the more challenges you face, the more patience you have. For example, the issue of the add and drop, especially during your first 2 years,
Yes.
which is a problem both of you will still face,
Yes.
no longer affects you. I remember
Yes.
last semester, I was waiting for 1 hour, and you just wait
Yes.
because at the first add and drop, you're very stressed. You will not find your spot. You're waitlisted, and you don't know what you should do. Your mentor no longer cares about you. But I think
That's true.
yes. But I think the more days and the more time you spend as a UI, the more challenges you face, and the more patience you have.
Yes.
That's why, by the way, that's why we chose 4 guests from different levels. So I think this, for example, Ala as a senior, I think Ala will be very used to all the issues we all have,
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
and Wisal will still face
Yes.
issues, and she will be very surprised. And Jihad.
No, I mean, it's also because of the classes. There's something that students don't know. Like, even if you don't get your spot in the add and drop, like, the university guarantees you a spot in courses that will create a delay in your graduation. No, it happens. Like, I did special requests many times for specific courses that will delay my graduation, and I got it approved because it's something that you need to take. For example, microeconomics and accounting one. There's no way as a BA student you're not gonna take these courses. Which courses are you gonna take? So if you have specific sections that are full, you're gonna get your spot. I mean, the professor is a question, but the spot in the course, you're gonna get it. Which professor? That's the question.
But for the first year, for example, you're very stressed. You think that if I don't get my spot, then I will not be able to take the course.
Exactly, because students don't know this.
And you still don't know how to choose, who to choose, when to take your classes. Should the schedule be continuous? Should it be like very separate?
For me, I don't know. Maybe with the years and everything, things just like I don't know. They're just not as much as clear as they were in my generation. Like when I got into UI and I did the add and drop and everything, it was of course the website bugged and everything, and it was login and everything, but still, like, I knew that they will grant me my course. That's his responsibility. I knew what I preferred as a person. Like, it's either study in the morning or study in the afternoon. Because with the years, again, you don't have that luxury of choosing your time slot because the sections become very limited with the when you get into your 3rd and 4th year. So we don't get that luxury anymore.
But besides add and drop and courses selection,
For
any other problems and challenges?
For me, add and drop was not really an issue.
Okay.
Personally, I don't know.
Interesting,
It just worked somehow, you know. It just works.
Interesting, since you talked about it for like a solid 3 minutes.
I mean, no, I just want them to know. Actually, I want them to know that they don't have to worry about it as much as they can be as that much stressed, because I swear to God, like I was going to an exchange in India this semester, and I canceled last minute, and I was just waitlisted I didn't even add them, so I added them in the no, I was waitlisted actually because I added last minute during my spring, and now I got all my courses and I got all the professors I wanted, and it worked somehow, you see.
Okay.
So that's how I see it personally. For me, I think I didn't face a biggest a big challenge, like something that I was like, oh my God, it's just. But I think the fact that I don't go back home in the middle of the semester creates a little bit of emotional pressure during the semester, because even in the long weekends I don't get the chance to go. So I mean, at a certain point of the semester, I have to deal with the fact that I still have time to go back and to go back home. So I think that was one of the biggest challenges for me, is being able to handle that amount of time and that amount of pressure and stress before going back home in the middle of the semesters. It was also balancing between my academic life and my personal life. I usually love to cook, have my breakfast, my morning routine, like whatever you see on the Instagram videos and everything. I try to make it go to the swimming pool in the morning, come back, and then go to my classes. Like, that's the type of life I love to live. So I mean, I'm still doing my best to make it. So maybe that's also was one of the biggest challenges.
What about you, Ella? challenges, problems, and how did you overcome them?
Well, some of them are not overcame, but
It's a journey.
yeah, there are many issues that I've encountered during my journey in AY, and I'll mention some of them without delving deep into them. So the first one that I'm still facing to this day, and I still did not really overcome, it's the question about, so what now? What am I going to do after? What am I going to do with this degree?
Yep.
I like my degree to a certain extent, but now I'm a senior, I'm about to graduate, hopefully, please, everyone pray for me. And
الله يسهل عليك.
and I really am stressed. I don't know what path to take. Should I pursue my academic goals, or should I go and have a professional career for a few years and then do my graduate studies afterwards? I still do not know, and it's really challenging to think about these things and to have people around you having their life pretty much figured out. I know that everyone has it their own way, everyone has their own challenges, but it is very stressful. Second thing, it's mainly about life in AY and mainly roommates. I had my fair share of experience with my roommates, and it was pretty good in my first years, and then it started slowly turning into chaos. And I don't know how I am able to keep my sanity, because I met so many people, from lousy people, from loud, from messy and untidy people, and to extremely nasty people. So it really teaches you a lot of things, and on the personal level, it gives you patience, it teaches you diplomatic skills and how to talk to someone without causing any issues.
There's the IR in you.
Yes.
Go on.
I try to be as diplomatic as I can when bringing up these issues, and it really is challenging to live with people. I know for a fact that in AY or in any other place where you have to share your living space with anyone else that you probably don't know, it really does teach you a lot about yourself and about other people, and it really is something that I think that I wouldn't have been the same if I did not go through this roommate experience and living with other people. Yeah, and last thing, I would mention the thing that really traumatized me the most this summer. It was my visa refusal, because I was going on exchange and I didn't.
Germany.
No, to Spain.
Yeah.
Yes, and so getting a visa refusal and seeing all your plans fall through, and seeing all your friends that you were planning on going with go, and you stay in the same old space or same old place you've been in for 3 years is really challenging. But at the end, you remind yourself of your privileges, and you know that it doesn't really matter. It's okay. If it's meant to be, it will be. And that's life. It comes, good things come and go, so you just learn to live with them.
You know, Ella, there's a saying in Arabic, كل تأخير خير. You know?
Yeah, and I hope it's the case.
Yeah, perhaps you deserve better than Spain.
I really hope I do.
And I'm glad you brought up the thing of friendships and roommates and having to deal with people, which brings me to my next question.
Yeah.
I know you spoke of the negative experiences with having to deal with people, but what would you say is the most profound and memorable friendship experience you've had so far? And, you know, a friendship that you feel like would stick with you even after you finish university. Not necessarily meaning that they're going to stay in your life, but the experience you had with that person is going to be perhaps forever.
I actually have a very funny story about how I met my roommate.
Uh-huh.
Out of all places, we met on Reddit.
Wow.
On Reddit.
Oh my god!
That's something. I want to hear this story. Go on.
She was asking about something about the scholarship, and I was like, hey, I applied too. Do you want me to help you? And then she was writing her essay, and then we kept talking. And then like the question, it was like kind of like when like someone asks somebody out, I'm like, okay, like, do you want to be my roommate? It was very awkward.
It's like you're asking for a
Yes,
date.
exactly. I was like, I'm filling the form. Like, do I put your name? And then I did, and then we met on the first day, and it has been actually very nice, very good. We're very good roommates. We complement each other a lot in a lot of ways, which is really fun. And also, we're the same major. We have the same timetable, which is very
Interesting.
Crazy.
big coincidence.
Oh my god.
Another thing is that on my first day of class, I was walking to my FUS class. Somebody stopped me. I was like, "Hey, did you go to this school?" It was a middle school. I was like, "Yes." I was like, "I think we went to school together." And then I actually didn't remember him, but he did. And again, same major, same timetable. And then I remember adding him on Instagram and seeing him messaging me in like 2018 asking about some homework, some French homework. Which was, and now like the three of us are very, very good friends. And you mentioned before kind of like balancing the academic and extracurricular stuff, and I feel like with the both of them, it's much easier to do that because we're doing the same things, and kind of like when I'm excited, I don't want to do something like, oh, we have the deadline. It's we put each other accountable, which is pretty nice.
That's very good.
Yes.
That's very nice.
So far I feel like both these friendships are very they have strong foundation, and I really wish for them to continue throughout this entire 4 years and even after that.
That would be very
Hopefully.
nice.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Aya, tell us about your good friendships.
So my good friendship is with my roommates, with my current roommates, because the old one we are not together. So how I met her, I hate her. The first first impression was very bad, and same for her. I think that most good friendships start like this way. And we met in our math classes. And she told me, could you please help me to review? I didn't understand the material. I told her, okay, join me in my room. I can help you. And she has been very happy to see me and share with me some stories, etc. We didn't study that night, I still remember. And I discovered that someone here had the same mindset as me. Because as I mentioned before, I didn't have good experience here with friendship. So she really shared with me a lot of opinions and stuff, and she was a little bit depressed, and she got through some bad period, and I helped her to get out from it. So now we are roommates, we are good. She's my best friend and she's my roommate. We do all things together. We took classes together. We go to swimming pool together, gymnasium together, and we go to room together. We cook together, and we are in a good term. And also we travel together, etc. So I think it's the friendship that I've been searching and looking for. Years ago, so that's it. That's my
very nice.
story.
She sounds lovely. الله يخليكم بعضياتكم.
Thank you.
What about you, Ibtihal?
I mean, from my side, I'm very grateful for the friendships I had the chance to make throughout the journey. They're very dear to my heart. I really get emotional when I got emotional. I always get emotional when I talk about them. I have a couple. I know many people around campus. I walk and hi to everyone around campus, and there, of course, I appreciate all the people that I know in my life. But I have a couple of friends, and very limited that I have a deep and profound friendship with. They're also two, one guy and two females, and they're incredible. I mean, I'm glad they're by my side, and I'm grateful for them. Huh?
Didicas.
Oh my god, Didicas. I mean, I also did Casablanca semester.
Okay.
And oh my god, I forgot another person though. Because he's not here. No, because he's not here.
Forgot.
Man, you shouldn't have
You
God,
forgot. Okay.
I didn't forget, but he left. I mean, okay.
You saved the best for last.
Yeah, exactly. That's smart. I mean, I did Casa Semester, and we got the chance to go as the first cohort to Casa Semester, and that was crazy. That semester was crazy, but it was fun. So we got the chance to bond all together, and it was just. I mean, I have many friends here that I just appreciate.
No.
I appreciate them.
Nice.
Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for being in my life.
Okay. Ella, for you, I'd like to slightly adjust the question.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about your good friendships
Uh-huh.
that you've made so far, but also tell us just how many of your friends from your first semester you're still friends with.
Oh, yeah. Very few.
Yeah.
Well, some of the friends I made in my first semester are thankfully still my friends, and some aren't. Some of my closest friends right now are friendships I have just made even last year, so it does not really matter. The duration of your friendship or how long have you known a person does not really matter as much as you feel the deep connection and how much the person cares. So I'm very grateful for my friends, and they should be grateful for having me too.
Of course. Definitely.
No, you're lovely. You're amazing.
Thank you. So are you.
Thank you.
I feel like my friends push me to be a better version of myself, and I've met some very, very good people, and they taught me a lot of things. They cook for me, they take care of me, they help me study, they help me when I'm at my lowest, and I also do the same for them because that's my job as a friend. And to answer your question, I can't really give a number for the friends I made in my first year that I'm still friends with. I'm not really in bad terms with them, but it's just that we drift apart, and some of us have their own issues to deal with, and you don't really have the time to connect with these people. But mainly, I've known some people that are still very good friends with the people they the people they met in their first year, but it's not always the case for everyone, and that should be okay. People come and go, and you should just. My advice for anyone listening to this podcast is not to. It's not to ruin any relationship with anyone. If it does not work out, it does not work out. You just make sure you finish on good terms, because you never know when you're going to need anyone in your life.
Exactly.
But besides that, it's good not to have any tensions with anyone. And yeah, I mean, friends, and especially the friends you make in college, are the people that see you at your lowest and at your highest. And they're really people that my friends are people that I value a lot and that I cherish, and I'm very grateful for having all of them in my life.
Yeah, I agree, and it's definitely not a good idea to build any kind of animosity with anyone
Yes.
throughout your university years.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's very insightful, Ella.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Before moving to the next question, I want you to answer the same question.
Oh, me?
You know why? Because when Mu'taz came during his first semester, he had so many friendships, so many friendships, and he was friends with everyone. Everyone.
But he said there were juniors and seniors. And
No,
then
even freshmen. Believe me, even freshmen. He was the type of. I used to hate him, by the way. He was the type of student who was trying to build friendship with everyone. That's why I want him to answer.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a positive friendship.
No, it's fine. I just
The
have
most
to. I
memorable.
just have to fix you on a couple things you said. You said that. I used to have a lot of friendships. That's not true. I still have a lot of friendships. Thank you very much.
Thank God.
And then you said that when I first came, I tried to be friends with everyone. That's not necessarily true. Those friendships were natural. I didn't go around
Yes.
trying to be
Yeah,
friends
but,
with everyone. But you have a good point. Jokes aside, I had a lot more people I frequented in my life on my first semester. But over the years, over the months and years, like Ala mentioned, you guys just grow apart. You know, you grow distant. With some, I unfortunately, inevitably built animosities with. But I don't hold any grudges, you know. it's fine.
It's life.
It's life,
Yes.
and it's just university. People forget it's just a small portion of your life. 5 years from now, you're not gonna remember the names of those people. But yeah, I love the friendships I have right now. And yeah, although we butt heads sometimes, we don't agree on some things sometimes. Hashtag مقصودة. But, yeah. But you know, it's all about compromise. It's all about finding middle ground, and
But it's funny how he changed.
yeah, we all
Yeah.
changed.
No,
We
but,
all
but he
changed.
completely changed.
We all
literally.
changed.
Isn't it good?
I mean, yeah. Well, I also changed from my first
We all
semester.
did.
Yeah, we all did, but he completely changed.
I don't recognize
That's a
it,
good
though.
thing. I know many people who did, and I'm very proud of them. Like, I'm very proud of them.
Yeah, I'm
because
also proud of him somehow.
Yeah. No.
it's-
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, change is not only good. Change is important.
Yes.
We have seniors and
Necessary.
juniors who still are freshmen, first semesters in their mind, and it's very concerning. Some of them
Yeah.
are still in high school mentally.
It means they haven't learned anything throughout the journey.
Exactly.
Okay, academic pursuits are a central part of university life. Can you share a memorable class, project, professor that left a lasting impression on you and contributed to your personal and intellectual growth?
Do I start?
Yes, of course. Since it's your first semester
yes.
still, what would you say is your favorite class / professor?
Well, I'm still on Gen Ed courses, so it's a bit not too exciting. But I would say the most memorable class, or professor especially, I would say professor I have in Arabic. Can I say the name? Or?
If you'd like.
Yes, it's Jawad Baqiri.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great professor. He's a great professor, and I feel like actually like I'm learning how to think about things in a different way, and how to analyze them differently. His class is very enjoyable. Actually, he was on some trip for like 2 weeks, and I actually really missed his class during those 2 weeks. I was like, God, he needs to come back. But yeah, his class is very memorable, and it's a class where I feel like I'm learning stuff, and I'm like gaining new information and new ways to kind of tackle what I read and what I hear, and yeah, that's it.
So for me, I would like to say that most of my classes were enjoyable. During my second semester, I had a critical thinking class with, can I say the professor?
If you'd like, whatever you're
With
comfortable with.
Rob Tyler, I think we all know
Doctor.
Dr. Rob Tyler.
Doctor.
It's a rank and title they earned. We
Yeah,
should
yes,
recognize them.
I tried to add him, but I couldn't.
You should. And currently I have a class, public speaking class, with a professor, and I say the name.
If you'd like.
Ali
once again.
Azriah, and he is a good professor. We really enjoy his stories, and the class is funny, and the same thing, we learn things. And also, I took this semester anthropology with Dr. Catherine Therin, and she is a very skilled professor, knowledgeable about the course, and I really learned what is anthropology. The midterm was a project, and I really enjoyed preparing this project with this midterm, and also we have a final project, and I am preparing it. So I think that's the thing about AUI. It's to get some courses you have never thinking about it when you are in high school. I never heard about anthropology as a social science, and now I'm studying it, and I'm really happy to do this, and that's it.
Yeah. What about you, Ibtihal? I get the impression that you're a very opinionated person.
Opinionated?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I think throughout throughout my journey at AUI, I had many important classes, and actually classes that impacted me as a person, added something to me as a person. But since I'm minoring in IS, International Studies, that's a quite interesting minor for many people. I think I had comparative political system with the professor that Ala mentioned in the last question, in the previous question.
I think you can mention her name.
No?
You can mention her name.
Yeah, no mind. Actually, she's not here.
Yes.
Yeah.
No longer.
Can I say it?
You
I'll
can.
guess. Katja Svan Elliot.
Yeah, Katja Schwan.
Katja Svan.
Schwan Elliot. She's amazing.
Amazing
the
professor.
best.
Amazing
The
professor.
best professors, and I had comparative political systems with her, and I was like, if I like it, I'll just minor. I was going to minor anyways, but it was like key for me to see if the material is for me.
Yes.
And our last project was to actually create a political system for Libya,
Same.
like a whole.
Yeah.
Really, you had Libya?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Libya.
Because for other countries it was like Syria, some people it was
No, we
it
also
was
had
like different
Libya.
countries. We had like Libya, and you had to also create the constitution, like the political system, like everything. That was kind of interesting. I'm like, that's interesting. You see, like that adds something to me. I did a lot of research, and we got an A+ actually in the project.
Nice.
And she's
Congrats.
Thank you. I mean, she's a very picky professor, but she's very fair at the same time. So to get an A+, that was like, yay!
Yes.
I was so happy. And I think in my BA class is the class that impacted me to this point is Introduction to Management Science with Dr. Jawad Abraj. He's amazing. I mean, I'm not getting the grades that I want to get necessary, but the class is interesting, and the way he teaches it is interesting. And actually, the proof is that in the graduation ceremony, he always earns the professor that impacted the students the most in the SBA.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's cool. But I think these are the courses that impacted me the most.
You know, a course is special when you feel like it impacted you and you liked it, even if you don't get the grades you want.
Yes,
to
because
get.
the material you grasp it, and that's the most important
Yes.
thing. Like, I'd rather grasp the material and be able to talk to you and discuss the topics than get a good grade, and which usually happens sometimes. Get a good grade and then I'm just like, I don't know what I studied, Yeah.
What about you, Ella?
Well, before I delve into the topic of professors and that impacted me, I want to add a little point about grades. When I joined AUI, I never really cared about grades that much. As long as I pass, for me, it was good. I mean, I still managed to get good grades, but I never really stressed myself on, oh my God, I gotta get an A+. Oh my God, a B+ is so bad. For me, an A+ is good. It's very good.
But if you
a
don't
B+
get
is good. A C is okay, but I mean, you still passed the class, and I got this shock with the people around me, especially like people from my major, and that were always focused on grades. I was always thinking to myself, grades will matter at a certain point in your life. And now I feel like they impacted me, and I started really being so anxious about my grades that I'm trying to get my past self back, but we're getting there. So, to answer the question, I have my fair share of classes that have really impacted me. The first one is the famous Dr. Luna's.
Nice.
And that I took in 2 classes, theories of international relations and international security. These were the most challenging classes that I've ever taken in my entire life. And it was stressful, challenging, but I loved every bit of it. It was very hard, but it is what
Oh my
made
God,
it.
Ella, are you blushing?
Because I remembered so many things, and I really struggled in those classes, and I really felt it really made me think if my major was really worth it, and it made me consider switching majors so many times. But I still made it, and it was one of my biggest achievements, because I always thought that I was not as good as the others, and probably did not really delve very deep into topics or the material as much as the others did. Well, moving on, there's Dr. Harboun, Clarice that I took that I'm taking in international law. The professor is amazing. I was pretty scared before adding her class, but I found myself really loving the class, and in her class I actually am learning critical thinking more than I ever did in my critical thinking class. she is a really like her approach is very unique in the sense that you are supposed to do your readings, you are supposed to learn. We are here to discuss. We are here to bring our own thoughts. And reflecting on my journey in AUI, before when I was still in high school, I was in a scientific major. Learn the rules, apply them, calculate, and work until you get your grade. And it was really a shock to come here and you actually have to think. And what really shocked me the most, and what these classes have taught me, is that there is no right or wrong answer. Before, I always used to ask people around me, but what is the right answer? What should we achieve through this assignment, through this paper, through whatever it is? And it took me a while to know that there is no right or wrong answer. And it really is how you think and how you construct your own arguments and how you back them up. And last but not least, there's Dr. Nahid Said in Islamic Art and Architecture. That professor was a gem. He really made me more confident in regarding class participation, because I never really liked sharing my thoughts during classes, but that specific professor made it very smooth for me, and I would never thank all of them enough. Yeah.
As an IS major, I have to, like you are, Ella.
Yeah.
I deeply resonated with the idea that within IS, there isn't really a right or wrong answer. It's how you say what you're saying and how you defend what you're trying to defend. And to circle back to Lunas, Dr. Jalil Lunas, personally, he was perhaps one of the most influential people in my life besides my family. It's to that extent.
Yes.
That class quite literally changed my life, because I know I didn't just learn about material, I learned about how to learn.
Yes.
Things I should have learned in Fast 1 and Fast 2, how to study what I'm studying, I learned with him.
Yeah.
And he really gives you all the room in the world to try to prove yourself, because he is challenging like that.
Yes.
And he gives you no room but to study. A lot of people might disagree, but I love that he enforces no devices in the classroom.
I like that too.
Because you have no choice but to study.
Exactly.
And you don't take notes, he kicks you out. You're on your phone, he kicks you out. You're on your laptop, he kicks you out.
Yeah.
And it's nice. It gives him all the credibility in the world. You know? And when people dislike him and dislike his methods, it says more about them than it says about him.
Yeah.
Honestly.
To add up to your point, I really, really, really think that classes that teach you how to learn don't really teach you much. And as an AUI student, regardless of your classification, whether you're a freshman or a senior, you will always learn by doing and not learn in classes. You will learn more about critical thinking in a gen ed class or major class than you will do in your intro to critical thinking. And to add up to your point about Dr. Lunas, he is very French system oriented.
He is.
Right? That class was very different from all our American system classes.
He reminds me of executive chefs in a way. Yeah.
Yes, and it really teaches you a lot about your future. If you don't rely on yourself, if you don't take your own notes, the way you take them, the way you write them, with your color coding, with your handwriting, with the way you're thinking, you will not get where other people would get. So it really teaches you a lot on how to rely on yourself and how to rely on your own brain and how to use it and not how to rely on your devices to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What about you, Amira? We're the same classification, yet you unfortunately did not take Luna.
I did not take him because of people's opinion. And I feel like, no, I will not regret it. But I feel like, yes, even our current professor, she's a new faculty. I would like not to share her name.
Yeah, but she's amazing.
She's amazing.
She really has
She's nice. She's flexible. She teaches you also how to learn. Yes.
I think it doesn't have to do with it has to do with the professor, but it doesn't have to do with the professor as much as it has to do with the way you love to have the class delivered to you. Because we're not saying that the professor is bad, but his teaching not this professor specific, their teaching methods match with specific people.
Yeah.
So you as a student, I think it's just your duty to be aware and conscious of the type of delivery you prefer. When you are aware of that, you know which professor you might take.
When you like a professor, it's not a sign of a professor being good at what they do. It's a sign of compatibility.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with when you don't like a professor.
Yeah. I also didn't take Lunas because it's my minor.
Okay.
So I didn't want to that much challenge for a minor.
To each their own.
I mean,
Huh?
we
Yeah,
have
of
the freedom
course.
to choose our own professors and own classes, so it really depends on what are your
What you prefer,
perspectives
yeah.
and preferences.
Which is so cool. That's why I love it.
Yes.
I love the American system in general.
But Amira, you didn't tell us.
yeah,
Your
Yeah.
favorite
Sorry for
professor,
interrupting
favorite
you.
No,
course,
it's okay.
favorite project.
Okay, favorite professors. I think every professor leaves something that you cannot forget. But two professors. First one is Fatem Zahra bin Drioush. I think most of us.
She is
Yes.
lovely.
Yes, I took
She
her
is
in
lovely.
two classes.
Yes.
I took her in two classes, Introduction to Economics and Statistics, and especially Statistics. I cannot forget. It was 4 months. It was during the last fall, and I cannot forget. It was the best class. It was the best class. I know many people criticize her, especially in this class, but I can say that people are not willing to do efforts with her. But she's a very knowledgeable professor. She's very nice. She helps you in case you need something, and I have no idea why people don't like her. She's
very kind.
Yes, she's very kind.
Wait, did we take her together, Amira? You
Yes,
and I?
during economics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But statistics no, but especially statistics. And the second professor is Borkowski, not Peter, his wife.
Not Peter, his wife.
Yes, Doctor Dr. Sitsa. I took her during philosophical thought last fall also. The first impression you will have about her is that she's very demanding. She's very weird somehow, and she's and you cannot understand what she wants exactly. But once you understand what she wants, you will conclude that she's very nice. And no, believe me, she's very nice. She's very nice. Her assignments, actually, she doesn't have quizzes or exams, but her assignments are very challenging. I had her during this class, and she is the coordinator of the honors program, so I have frequent discussions with her. Maybe that's why I liked her more. And can I talk about the most memorable course?
You can talk about anything and
Yes,
everything
the
you
most
want.
memorable course is no, it's the honor seminar, which she was responsible about. That's why I liked it.
I be like I am an honors student.
No, believe me. This is, by the way, this is an
Graduating with
invitation.
honors.
No, this is an invitation for students because I know many students think that this class is very difficult. It's not. It's very fun because you have 4 professors teaching you 4 modules. You take a topic and you study from different perspectives. That's why I was willing to mention this class. So for everyone willing to go for it as an elective, do it. You will pass it with an A. The least you can pass with is an A minus. Yeah, believe me. So let's move to our next question.
Okay, so speaking of academics and courses and whatnot, let's circle back to a comment I made early on with Sali. Balancing academics, social life, and personal development can be delicate. How did you personally manage your time and prioritize your commitments during your university years? Let's start with Wissal.
Well, it's my university 3 months, but I remember getting my timetable during July, way back before I joined, and then I went and I was looking for these professors and where did they study, what did they do, and then I was like, oh, okay.
You did your homework.
I did my homework, yes. And then I felt, it was the clubs fair. When I went to the clubs fair, I was like, oh my god, there's so many clubs. And I remember leaving and like losing count of what did I sign up for, what did I not. But then like I started going to all these different meetings, and then from that I started kind of filter out, okay, I like this one more, and I want to be involved with this one more. So now I'm kind of involved with maybe 2 or 3 clubs, and it's really fun when you feel like you belong somewhere, and that you share like this kind of interest with someone, and you can just gather and like talk about it, share your interests. It's really fun. And it's also it's really fun that every night, every evening, there's something to do on campus, you know.
Feels overwhelming sometimes.
It is.
Yeah.
Sometimes I look, okay, it's this one starts at 7, this one starts at 8. Should I go to this one or that one? Also the library events, the think
talks.
space, the
Yeah,
talks,
think
yes.
space.
They're amazing. I've been to numerous actually, and all of them were great. I really appreciate that about AUI. Managing like between that and academics, actually so far it's not that difficult, because again, what I like is the deadlines. It's very clear, like you do something, you submit it, and then it's done. And also the midnight thing. It's
What's midnight thing?
The midnight deadline.
Oh, the deadlines.
deadline.
Okay.
With the deadlines, I feel like it's good because I don't stay up late. Like I can't, even if I want to stay up late working for something. That's just
You will stay up late the night
I
before.
hope you stay like this during your entire AY journey.
It feels like there are concrete steps to getting a good grade. It's very structured.
Exactly.
And for example, back in high school, it was like it's the final, and then you either ace that or you mess up, and then there's no second chances. Here, it kind of like nowhere to focus on. You know, you can redeem yourselves and other things. It's flexible, and I appreciate that.
But I have to say, Wissal, I really love the way you set your priorities, and everything else you go by the process of elimination.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's very nice. What about you, Aya? How did you balance it all?
So for me, it was not a big challenge because I'm really used to do it. So during my high school years, I was doing dancing and also theater. And also studying. So the first system was a really bit hard, and it was they put on us some pressure, and I didn't like it. That's why I chose the American system, so I can have free time. When I joined the AUI, I was very interested in charity events because I was president of a club in my high school, so
Nice.
I really wanted to do so, and I joined the Lions Club. I went through like 5 medical campaigns. It was a little bit challenging to go there, rural region, but I think it's a mandatory thing for us university students. So you're gonna see people there, how they are living. You will see the reality of your country. You will see that people really need you. So you should work and to help them. And you will also improve your communication skills, organization also. And the most important thing is your humanity. So the second club where I've been involved, as I mentioned before, is theater club. I had the privilege to be a writer script during my first semester in a play, and also I've been an actor in the second play during the last spring. So managing between my classes and rehearsals was not very easy. Because we stayed like till midnight rehearsing, and the deadline was very
The midnight
near.
thing.
Yes. So but playing that role, I really like it. Hearing the stage and being on the stage was a kind of funny thing and a good experience for me. And also I've been involved in some clubs such as debate club and a club I couldn't remember the name, but the club giving some people here at AUI, some entrepreneurs or people who succeed in their life, and
Are you
they
talking
do
about
some
Startup Olympus or something?
no not
An
startup
actress?
no
وطرقت.
no let me just remember the name.
What do they do? Just what do they do?
They bring some people
Entrepreneurship
The
no.
keys to success.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. Yes. So
Last year.
last year, I think
And
they are
this
not.
year they're dormant.
Yes,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Exactly.
So that's it. And I'm thinking about opening my own club. I don't know. I should have just an idea, a clear idea where I want to share with the people here. How can I share with them what I know and what I am good in? So that's it.
That's very nice. That's very nice. Btihal, how'd you balance it all?
For me, it was very interesting to be engaged on campus. For me, that was a priority. You might, I mean, there's something. Last year I wasn't here on campus for the whole year, so that's why I wasn't active at all because I wasn't here.
Where were you?
I did because of semester, and then
Oh,
I went.
okay.
Then I went on an exchange to the US. So.
Mhm.
But it was a priority for me, and within my 2 first years I tried to be like very very engaged, because you have light classes that she mentioned, as she mentioned, like they don't require as much work as advanced classes, so we'll be able to find time and to manage. It was more like the filtering thing that you did that's very very important, because when you just join AUI, you think that you will be active in everything, but that's impossible. You have to find things that actually match with you, and actually you follow your interests and things that you really love working on. Because when you love that, that's when you can give it time. Because you can't give time to something which isn't a priority. There's another thing, students usually want to do it, but they are like, no, I'm tired, I just want to sleep, I had a long day. These are excuses. Like some nights of course I had like to stay up late, and my sleeping schedule was, I tried to keep a minimum of 6 to 8 hours. I did
Uh-huh.
I did my best, and
For a week?
no for whole semester except finals season.
Interesting.
Except finals week, I did my best. For me, sleeping is very important, but at the same time I wasn't expecting it to come easy, because it's really that's really an effort that you make throughout the journey. So you have to make it. You're gonna be tired. Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. That's what that's how I see it. So
Interesting.
I mean, at least as far now, of course I had to sit back from many decisions that I took, but still I believe that it's something that I have to do. I've been active, and this actually I want to mention something. I went to the US, but I didn't go on bilateral exchange. I went on a fully funded scholarship by the US Department of State, and it was like fully funded. They pay for everything, and they choose only they choose only 4 in Morocco for go each year, like every year, just 4 and I was chosen among them, and that was a huge pride for me. It's a very, I always introduce myself as a global U grad alumna, but what I want to mention more importantly is that my GPA didn't matter. The classes I took didn't matter as much as what I did in extracurricular mattered, like the activity, the community services that I did, or anything like that was actually what mattered for them, so that they could see maybe something special in me. So that's why I always focus on. It's very very important. Everyone who listens to the podcast, please be engaged. Grades are important, but also you have to be aware that you will have to sacrifice a little bit of your grades for this amount of time that you put in clubs. You can never having a 4 point, if you can get a 4.0 GPA and be engaged, good for you, that's amazing. But if you are engaged and you have a good GPA, that's also good. That's better than having a 4 and not having any thing on your record.
I love how you look at things beyond the pen and paper, beyond the GPA, beyond the
Yes.
grades.
Yeah, because it's who you are, it's what makes you
Yeah,
yourself. Yeah.
What about you, Ella?
Yeah.
Is it the GPA? Is it the extracurricular? How do you balance it?
Curricular all the way. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, someone.
Oh, yeah.
my God.
Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, so I really, before joining AUI, I really and mainly joined it because of the extracurriculars and because of all the freedom it gives you. And I really value clubs and extra or non-academic activities in your personal growth. It was at first, as all of us mentioned, we all want to achieve a lot during our first semester. We want to be active here and there and join all the clubs possible. But as Wisal mentioned, at some point you will have to start filtering and start and do a certain process of elimination. Personally, I was drawn to musical clubs and the choir club, as well as the rhythm unity performance and music club in general. I really loved my journey in both these clubs, and I value the friendships I made there and the experiences I had and the late nights we stayed in Auditorium 17 rehearsing our songs, even though people don't really care about that, but we care. Music is what unites us. And also, about what you said earlier about there's always something to do on campus, I am highly critical towards that. I do not like it, and I really think it's not necessary to always have something, because I feel like it really removes the value, or it becomes valueless, if I may say. If there's always something going on, you really lose track, and you being a FOMO, I always fear missing out, and I always want to be on top when it related to I always want to be good in my studies and want to also be active here and there and go to this event and be active in this club and go to this medical campaign, but it's not possible. That's the hard part of it. When at the end of the day, you need a social life, you need a good academic life, you need a good extracurricular life, you need to maintain a good relationship with your family, because that's another point. My family has always told me that I don't really reach out to them as much as I used to before, and they get sad about that, and I feel sorry for them, and I feel sorry for myself, because I found myself drifting a bit away of my family, but I'm trying to work on that. But really, it's not about how much we achieve, it's about what we find peace in, and it's a process. I really would advise anyone to at least try one club, at least, or one activity, because it really makes you stand out, and it really shapes your personality, and it will probably make you meet that one specific person that will probably make you choose that one specific path that will define your life or whatever. But it is important. People should not really fear missing out like I did and I still do, but it's human and we all fear that. But it really depends on everyone. It really depends on how they manage their time, but it really is important to include that in our journey.
That is very, very insightful, Ella. Thank you very much,
you.
And all of you actually. You speak very beautifully, all of you.
Thank you for having us.
And that concludes our first enlightening episode of Hikayat podcasts. A huge thank you to our incredible guests for sharing their remarkable stories and experiences from their formative years at the university. We hope you, our cherished listeners, found the inspiration and wisdom in their journeys. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to leave a review. Your feedback fuels our passion to bring you more compelling content, and of course share this episode with your friends, family, and fellow students. It's never too late to learn from the experiences of others. Stay tuned for our next episode, where we continue to explore the diverse landscapes of life and learning. Until then, this is your host signing off. Remember, life is a journey, and every story shared adds a new chapter to the adventure. Take care, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.